So, have you guys heard of Andrew Tate? I'm sure you've all heard of Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate is one of these sort of asshole MRM, men's rights activists, sort of red pillar douchebags who has made his entire life and fortune off of exploiting poor, lonely men who are looking for dating advice. And Andrew Tate's gig seems to be insult them and make them jealous and belittle them until they're so full of rage that they give him money. That's kind of Andrew Tate's thing. He's made a name for himself on how to manipulate women in order to get laid. He's made an entire sort of millions of dollars giving lonely, stupid men advice on how to do that. And then I saw this tweet. Andrew Tate, sex is for making children. Any man who has sex with women because it feels good is gay. Oh, my pee-pee feels good, this is great. In fact, if you're 40 with less than 5 children, you're probably gay. All that feel-good pee-pee sex and hardly any genetic legacy? ? Yeah. This is really ironic because Andrew Tate made his fortune supposedly teaching men on how to get laid, teaching men on how to manipulate women, and not just how to get laid, but how to make money by pulling the boyfriend scam and forcing women into sex work for you. That's what Andrew Tate is in prison for, by the way. Right, he's basically in prison because he did that shit to, like, women who were minors, teenage girls and stuff. That's his thing, is that he would get on the internet, and, he's not a bad-looking dude. He's tall, he's got muscles, he's rich, and he would track down vulnerable women and basically do the boyfriend scam on them, where they would like, oh, I'm gonna love you, I'm gonna take care of you, I've got all this money, blah, blah, blah. Fly out to Romania, and then he'd buy them a ticket, and then he would basically pimp them out for his webcam business and take all the money and abuse the shit out of them in the meantime. And that's what he is arrested for, because he started doing that to teenage girls. And I believe he actually tried this with one of the daughters of one of the ministers in Romania, I believe. I could be wrong about that, but I think that's what finally got him arrested. Because first off, he was bragging about it, about how he was going to bribe everybody when he goes to prison. And then secondly, he pulled this shit on like the minister of like finance or something. He like pulled this shit on his daughter. And yeah, that got his ass busted. Now, if you read some of these responses here, you guys see people saying, oh, this is parody. He's basically doing, satire or whatever. Like this guy right here, the guy underneath Zuby, the fact that some people take posts like this as dead-ass serious and clutch pearls from them for days is precisely why they're amusing. But this isn't the first time Andrew Tate has said shit like this. And I want to show you another one. This is also from Andrew Tate. Food's awful, and eating sucks. I eat the bare minimum and as fast as possible. I hate eating. I hate feeling full. Men who think cooking makes them manly are cucks afraid of the cage, desperate to validate a non-existent masculinity. Imagine how stupid you have to be to find food entertaining, literally embarrassing. Fellas, is it gay to like food? I mean, I don't understand how liking cooking and enjoying the flavor of the food you eat diminishes your masculinity. So it's kind of hard when Andrew Tate has a history of saying stupid shit like this. Let's make these a little bit bigger so you guys can see them. But when Andrew Tate has a history of saying really stupid shit like this, it's hard to look at when he's basically comes out and says having sex with women is gay and believe that he is making a joke, that he's trying to, that's the first thing. Second thing, Andrew Tate is not the kind of guy who is capable of laughing at himself. He just isn't. He is not capable of laughing at himself. Andrew Tate is someone who takes himself extremely seriously because like all narcissists, he has low self-esteem. That's why. And it's not possible for him to laugh at himself. In order to laugh at yourself, you have to be confident in who you are. And you notice anyone who's a narcissist, anyone who's just got an ego the size of a planet, they don't laugh at themselves. They can't laugh at themselves. You know, you want an example of that? Donald Trump. You remember when Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton went to the White House Correspondents' Dinner in 2016, and they're supposed to crack jokes about each other, and Donald Trump couldn't do it. He couldn't make fun of himself. You know, he just couldn't fucking do it. He tried, and then he would get up, and then he would insult Hillary, and everybody would boo him. And then Hillary would come up, and she'd make a self-depreciating joke. You know, because she's capable of making fun of herself. She's capable of not taking it all too seriously. If you take yourself too seriously, you're in for a world of hurt. Because you're never going to measure up to this imaginary fucking thing you have in your head. That's Andrew Tate. The exact same thing. So yeah, there's a few more of these I want to show to you guys. A guy ordering dessert on date is a red flag for me. That's a female thing to do. Fellas, is it gay to eat dessert? You can read this one at the bottom here. I'm not going to read that one. Another one. Face-sitting cowgirl and any other position with the woman on top are fundamentally acts of homosexuality. The male, by being in a sexually submissive position, is engaging in homosexual activity. And conversely, the woman being in a dominant position is engaging in lesbianics. Lesbianics, folks. Apparently, it's gay to have sex with a woman, but it's not just gay, it's also an act in lesbianics. I'm going to go get myself a degree in lesbianics. That's what I want. I'm going to get certified in lesbianics. That's going to be on my resume. My 23 female husband, 24 male, thinks our son is gay when he's only a year old. Some of the reasons he thinks our son is gay. He loves when the light shines through the window in a way that makes rainbows on the floor. He was curious about my makeup and has tried to take my lipstick and eyeliner. It reminds him of crayons. He generally prefers me to my husband. He likes to help me peel bananas, and one time my husband saw him mouth the tip of it. He got angry at me for letting him do something that looks sexual. His favorite thing to do outside right now is look at the flowers that are blooming and touch them. My husband thinks he likes books too much for a boy. Okay, apparently it's gay to read. There's also a character in one of the books that my son always points at and smiles at because he has bright orange hair, son's favorite color, but my husband thinks that he has a crush on the character. I don't even know what to say to that. Yeah, fellas, you know, it's gay to be a baby. If you have a coat on, you gay. No grown-ass man should be bundled up. Because, you know, fellas, it's also gay to be warm. Why would a rich famous guy marry a 34-year-old woman? If you started immediately, you might be able to have 2 kids, and she's publicly had sex with a ton of guys. Despite her wealth, she's very low quality for any successful male. Just seems weird and almost like he's a gay guy. Why would a successful man want a middle-aged woman who's always on tour? Could it be because he's gay? Fellas, is it gay to marry Taylor Swift? I don't know. I don't know where everybody gets off saying Taylor Swift is ugly. She's fucking beautiful. Anyway, moving on. Men who carry water bottles out in public give me the ick, especially at the airport. You can't go a few hours without having your little sips of water. Carrying around anything is a feminine trait. The only things men should be carrying around are his wallet and a pocket knife. So I can't decide if this means it's gay to carry something or if it's gay to actually drink water. Apparently water is super gay. I don't know. That's probably it. Isabella Riley Moody, your husband is probably gay if he does dishes. You know, because having a clean kitchen is obviously gay. Got a few more of these that I want to show to you guys here. Where did they go? For all you pussy ass bitches who drink this nasty shit, the I'm afraid of the actual beer door. Because, right fellas, it is gay to drink alcohol. Let's see, we got here, this is, just walked out on my date, he ordered pasta. The fuck if you're gay, why are you dating a woman? No straight man would eat pasta. because apparently, fellas, it is gay to eat spaghetti. Birthday dinner. Seafood is for women, but happy birthday. So does that mean that, like, if I eat anything else besides seafood, I'm not gay? So if I eat any kind of fish at all, I'm gay? I mean, who knew that the whole ocean was filled with gay fish, right? There's a trend, I think I've only seen it in the last 5 to 6 years, of grown men crying when they see their bride walking down the aisle. I have to say it is extremely gay. Men shouldn't cry at such things. It should be reserved for extreme moments of pain, e.g. death. Because you know, fellas, it is now gay to cry at your own wedding. Funny how America uses man words like invade and fight, and Europe uses woman and homosexual words like diplomacy and economic growth. Because, you know, folks, it is gay to have a positive GDP. Eating pussy too submissive for me, it feel gay. This just in, men engaging in sexual activity with a woman is homosexual behavior. It totally is. It is gay to have sex with a woman. If you're a grown man with skincare routine, you might be gay. I don't make the rules because, you know, washing your face is totally gay. That's just the truth. Everybody knows that straight men have very bad skin. Wanting a strong woman is a sign of homosexuality. Any masculine man wants a submissive woman. Fellas, is it gay to like a woman? Apparently it is gay to like women. Matt Haig got called gay at school for liking books. A big girl's blouse by a teacher for not liking rugby. A coward for not wanting a fight. Mocked as a girl for wearing a yellow jacket. Told to be a man when nervous. The pressure boys feel to be unfeeling morons is intense. Resist. And yeah, I wanted to bring this up because this one is 100% true. This is stuff that I've encountered myself in just my experience of being a man. I think it's kind of hard for women to understand this specifically about toxic masculinity. It's other men who enforce this on you. You hear, you know, women and stuff, they talk about this and how toxic masculinity, you know, it's wrong and blah, blah, blah. And you're horrible if all this other shit, if you like conform to it and that kind of thing. It's sort of like other men will impose it upon you, especially when you're a young child. Not, you know, I notice not so much anymore now that I'm like older and stuff, but definitely a lot when I was younger, and not just a child, but just a younger man in general. What that thing we just looked at said, oh, I was called all these names through school for wearing a yellow sweater. Yeah, that's definitely true. For just dressing a certain way, if you don't look tough enough, other men will make fun of you. Other men they'll straight up fuck with you in some cases. Violently in some cases. Even if you just even look like you might not be 100% straight, some guys will just start fights with you for no fucking reason. Just because you're wearing a shirt that's pink or something. I could be literally walking down the street with my wife wearing a pink shirt and a guy will fuck with me. That's just how it happens. That's just how it is. That's how it is and you know, and I live in super liberal Southern California. So I can't even imagine if I was someplace like in fucking, I don't know, the deep south or some shit. Right? How bad it must be there. Here's an example of what I'm talking about. Some years back, I used to work at a Starbucks. And I was cleaning the windows on the front door. And I'm cleaning the windows, and an older guy who had to be in his maybe early 60s motions over to me to come over there. So I walk over to him and he says, "Don't stand with your hand on your hip." And I'm like, "Excuse me?" And I was standing there with my hand on my hip. I just finished cleaning the windows and I was looking at them to make sure there weren't any more fingerprints and stuff. And the guy says, "Don't stand with your hand on your hip like that. It makes you look like a queer." That's what he said. And I'm like, okay. Out loud, I just sort of nodded and agreed. But in my head, I'm like, the fuck are you? And that's the thing. It's like, it's not the fact that this guy thinks this. It's like, all right, you can think whatever kind of stupid shit you want. You could be whatever. It's the fact that he felt comfortable saying this to me. Because saying this to a complete stranger who has no idea who I am, doesn't know I could have been, I mean, I'm not gay, but maybe if I was, Would that have even considered, like, hey, maybe this is offensive what you just fucking said? Maybe what you just said is out of line? Maybe you shouldn't be saying shit like that to people and mind your fucking business? And who gives a fuck how somebody stands? This story has stuck with me for like 20 years because of this. Because I'm thinking about it, I'm like, you know, at first I was like, yeah, whatever. But the more I thought about it, the more I was like, this fucked up. Something wrong with someone that would even, like, why would that even pop into somebody's head? And you know, the thing is, the guy probably thought he was doing me a favor. How pathetic is that? How pathetic is it when somebody can't, like, they object to the way someone else stands? That's toxic masculinity. And that's the extent of which it is basically ingrained into our culture. And I don't think women understand that, because I know that there is an equivalent, this sort of trad wife kind of shit. It seems like it's much more open nowadays for a woman to do whatever she wants. For a woman, you know, if you want to have a job, then you just have a job. You want to stay home and raise the kids, then you stay home and raise the kids. You know what I mean? It seems like women are a lot more liberated when it comes to that. There's a lot less expectations about how they have to act. I mean, I know that there's still a lot of pressure to look good and shit like this, and you have to wear makeup and blah, blah, blah. I know all that is definitely a thing, but I don't think, for example, a woman would get beat up for not dressing girly enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think if you're a woman and you walk around outside that other women will come and kick your ass if you dress a certain way, if you look a certain way. I don't think that's a thing. I mean, I don't know. Is it? Maybe ladies out there, please tell me. Do you ever just get assaulted for wearing clothes that are deemed not feminine enough by other women? I mean, is that a thing that happens? Maybe it is. I don't know. But I can tell you it's definitely a thing when it comes to toxic masculinity. That's definitely a thing. Yeah, toxic masculinity is not just guys on the internet making fun of shit. It can be dangerous. So that one really stuck with me. That one that we just looked at where the guy said, yeah, I got beat up in school and told to be a man and all that other shit. I think that's one thing that kind of every man in this country can identify with that. And we all react to it in different ways. That's, I think, something that needs to change.
Hello folks, if you like what I do and you want to support the channel, please consider buying something from my Etsy shop, supporting me on Patreon, liking and subscribing, and checking me out across my social media links listed below. Thank you all so much, and see you next time.